Legislation to reduce greenhouse gas emissions is officially here. While cities across the US and Canada each are developing their own unique plan, the results will be similar: a drastic and much-needed reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. Today, we'll be focusing on emissions legislation for buildings in two large global cities, New York and Toronto.
But first, let's look at how buildings contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. Globally, buildings account for nearly 40% of emissions. In certain cities, that's even higher. Many believe that greenhouse gas emissions primarily come from the transportation sector. However, buildings contribute at nearly the same levels.
Let's examine. Susan works in an office in New York City. When she arrives at her building, she steps into a brightly lit, temperature-controlled lobby with a security desk. Can you spot all of the sources in this lobby that contribute to the building's carbon footprint? Let's find out. When Susan arrives at her floor, she heads to her desk and flips on the task light. She works on the computer, occasionally hopping up to grab a print. Let's take a look again. Can you spot all of the carbon sources? All of these elements within the space consume energy, contributing to our carbon emissions.
Legislation across North America are looking to reduce greenhouse gas emissions gradually over time. In Canada, carbon emissions is taxed on a federal level through the Greenhouse Gas Pollution Pricing Act, also known as the carbon tax. In 2019, the tax of carbon was $20 per metric ton of CO2. It has now risen to $50 per ton and is expected to rise by a minimum of $15 per year, with the expected price of $170 per ton by 2030.
New York City's Local Law 97 will begin imposing penalties in 2024 for all buildings that exceed their carbon emissions cap, also measured in tons of carbon dioxide. This cap will decrease significantly starting in 2030 and again in 2035.
Tune in next time to see some case studies on how buildings emissions affects the public and private sector. Learn how you can be proactive in reducing your building's footprint, enhance your tenants' experience, and reduce penalties and taxes.